After the whole big reveal that Mary Jane is the new Venom in Marvel Comics and everybody rolled their eyes so hard the earth spun backwards for a little while, we get the follow-up to that in All-New Venom number 6, where Mary Jane and Venom are laying out everything about how they ended up bonded, I guess, to Paul and Robbie Robertson. And like, it's so bad, it's good, and only for the reason that, Paul is finally getting the cock end of the stick, and we've all been hoping for that. That's really all it boils down to. So, All-New Venom number 6, we get a take on what happened. That this whole thing kind of played out during the whole Venom war nonsense, when apparently Mary Jane's this she whole infinite slot machine thing that she uses for a jackpot thing that gives her different powers. Apparently it went on the fritz, and Venom bonded with it to kind of, I don't know, help or something. And you see Paul and Robbie Robertson are there, and Paul is asking, excuse me, sorry, I know you're both eager to tell me how random and useless my tech is, but I've got a question. And like, yes, random, and like I say, they're really giving it to Paul in this issue, and I, for one, I'm literally on board, because basically, it's the what she said that, all the device used to just give her random useless powers, and now all of a sudden, because I don't even understand how that works, because even before she was bonded with Venom, it was basically shown that she could just dial up the exact right thing at any time, even though that's not how they were trying to play it before, but that's what they were doing. And then he wants to know why she and Venom are sitting like that. And she tells him, we have to maintain contact. That's all. Usually, I'm wearing the symbiote, or he's in my bloodstream. It's not like we're friends. And Venom is, we're not friends, Paul, but we do have to stay together, or we'll die. Like, I mean, this whole story is just really stupid. Mary Jane never liked Venom. She literally have had like trauma because of Venom. The whole Venom, and the way that they make Venom song in this doesn't sound like Venom at all. I don't even know what the hell this character is supposed to be, but it doesn't sound like Venom at all. It's just really ridiculous, because they're going to talk about how Spider-Man did something, and and Mary Jane talking about, yes, Spidey risked his life, dove right into the belly of the beast, all just to give me moral support. And then you have Venom. It's like, it's what he does. He's pretty amazing. When have you ever heard Venom saying these things? Yes, Venom is obsessed with getting Peter Parker, Spider-Man, back, because they were, well, for a time he was, because their bonding was basically the first time he was ever really interested and wanted a character, to be with somebody, and then, went on to his next host after that, and that's how the whole Venom thing started. But I'm just like, I don't really get it. It's just really, really weird the way they keep trying and then the way they have Venom speaking. It doesn't sound like Venom at all. Really doesn't. So, and then you see, Mary Jane going to talk about how, when she came back home, Paul thought Paul was so happy and thing, and he was crying and all that, and she decided she wasn't going to tell him about it. Then, and that was the whole nonsense. You get this thing with her talking about how, she went out, and again, these random set of jackpot powers never make sense, because all of the things she could just do, now she's flying through the air, blazing fire behind her like Johnny Storm, because she just literally keeps getting whatever power she wants. They had this whole thing about her. You go through this whole thing with her, with the device changing and giving her powers. She turns into some kind of weird jelly looking thing and falls to the ground. Then she turns into a Kree super soldier. Like, how does this work? Is what I'm getting at. Are there like different genetic signatures inside of this gauntlet? is it magic based? But even if it's magic based, it must have some kind of reference to draw from. You can't just suddenly, like dial up something and then all of a sudden, boom, you just have it without some sort of reference to draw from. How does Mary Jane even know what a curry super soldier looks like, or what their abilities would be, or anything like that? It doesn't make sense. But we're supposed to just be okay with this. I don't get it. It's really weird, and then you have Venom talking about how you shouldn't blame MJ, you should blame me, Paul, for the glitch and all kind of thing. And apparently, after in some explosion and thing, he was he was in the um you know the sewers and stuff, barely holding himself together. And then Mary Jane shows up, and like her face is melted off, and her fingers and stuff are melted off, and all of this stuff. Like, it's really weird. And then like, she just tells him, "Get up, you monster. I should have known you couldn't be trusted. All this was your plan, wasn't it? You're just messing with me to get at Peter again, aren't you? Aren't you?" And then, it just ends up with him bonding to her. And that's what happens. And, they, and by bonding, it kind of, her entire body kind of got remade and all of that. It was, ay, 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 but. And we acting like, Mary Jane went through all this agony and all that. This whole thing is just really stupid. Honestly, this entire thing makes no sense. Honestly, it makes no sense. And then Paul is talking about how, he put a limiter on the jackpot device so that a triple roll would never come up, and that, all this stuff that happens with it could do to that, and that getting a triple roll could kill her. And it's really, but apparently Venom bonded with her. And, that's what happens, because Mary Jane is there like, "You're not my finest hour, but it it might have been yours. Tell him what you were thinking." And then Venom is like, "What would Spider-Man do?" Like, this doesn't sound like Venom at all. This sounds very, very un-Venom-like. That's the way to put it. And that's what happened. He bonds with her, and bam. And then he goes to tell her that, and she said, "For me, we're not just bonded, we're fused on the molecular level. We are Venom and we are Mary Jane Watson, or we're dead." Like, what are you all even doing with this thing anymore? This whole thing with Mary Jane as Venom is just really stupid, and nobody is even interested or cares, because you just completely lost the entire plot right there. It's just, the whole thing is stupid. So apparently it is like some kind of temporary bond. Apparently they're literally fused at the molecular level, and they can't ever be separated. But she has a gauntlet that could spin anything, so anything is possible, I'm guessing. Really, really ridiculous. And all the time, that's what going on. And then Paul goes on to say, "Wait, I just realized this is why we haven't been intimate lately." And she's like, "Yeah, too many people in the room. Yeah." So Paul is finally the cock before. Yeah. After all these months and years of them cocking Peter Parker Spider-Man to the moon and back, no, Paul is finally the cock. This was the only good part about this comic. How was it the only good part? That was the really only good part about this book. And then he's all God, and I was going to tell you, Paul, I was just exhausted, and it wasn't the right time, so I gave it a day, then I gave it another, and suddenly I was way too deep in the lie. Yeah, yeah. And so it's going. This is how the whole drama continues on with them, and they just drag this whole thing on. And then she's telling Paul, Paul, I'm sorry. And all that. It's like apparently people are supposed to care about anything at all. No, and yeah, even have Robbie Robertson saying he doesn't feel afraid of Venom at all, not one little bit. It's just Venom. I don't know what the hell this is. I don't even get this. I don't want to know what's going on. It's just ridiculous. That's the whole point of it. And then Dylan comes in. They're the only character I like anymore because he comes in and school sucks. Thanks for asking. Didn't learn anything I'll ever use. And all the other kids are dumb creeps. I really like this kid. I really, really like this kid. And then he goes on to talk about who's this doc in regards to Robbie Robertson, you guys opening up the relationship or what? And then Mary Jane is Robbie's an old friend and he's who was just leaving, excuse me. I don't know. And then Paul is all, there's no need at all for that kind of talk, Dylan. It's crass and you're better than that. And for the record, I don't think I could stay in a relationship with 3 people in it, even if the other 2 were open and honest. And if anyway, I'll get dinner started. I was saying, no, Mary Jane looks fantastic in those yoga pants. Really looks great. I'll give that. Yeah, I don't think I could say in a relationship with 3 people in it, even if the other 2 were open and honest. Yeah. No, you have a problem with it. When you outright stole Spider-Man's girl, you didn't have nobody said you didn't have a problem then, but now is a problem. Bloody rich. That is what's going on with it. And that's the whole book really. Then Mary Jane gets a call from Flash Thompson, who is Agent Venom or something, so I believe it is, and he's there. He doesn't let you know, they need to talk or they might need to fight something in regards to it, and that's the book. That's the whole book, people. So that was the big talk with it. What happened with Mary Jane and Venom? None of which makes any sense at all. It's just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Paul is getting cocked and absolutely nobody is feeling sorry for him. The rest of this is playing out in some kind of manner that I assume that people care, because now Mary Jane and Venom are bonded on like literally fused together on a molecular level. Venom isn't even acting like Venom. Like they've just completely, I don't even know what the other one to call it. They cut his symbiote balls off or something, and that's it. That's this whole thing. It's so bad. It's the only good part is that Paul is getting cooked. That's it. Nothing else. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. If you have a different opinion, I'd love to hear it. If you like the video, should hit that thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Ring the notification bell to be notified every time I put out a video. And I shall see you all next time. Take care.